Thank you very much. Now, as Toastmaster of the evening, I'm going to have to introduce our speaker. And I want you to know that for this speech, you are all the senior decision makers at major retailers and brands around the world. You've been gathered all here together for a very big seminar, and we're very lucky today to have a very senior sales director from the supply chain who works at a company called AI, Asia Inspection, and he is here with us today to give us a special speech. So let's all welcome Michael Bland. April 24th, 2013. It was a typical Wednesday on the busy streets of Dhaka, Bangladesh. People are bustling through the crowds, making their way to work. The street vendors are calling out to people as they pass by, "Buy this food, buy my goods." When suddenly, at 8:57 a.m., there was a massive crashing sound, and everyone turned their heads to stare in horror as an 8-story building collapsed in on itself, spread debris all over the streets. It took 3 weeks for the rescuers to pull the survivors and the bodies out of that rubble. And when it was done, 1,130 people were dead. Another 2,515 people were severely injured. And this terrible tragedy that happened 3 years ago at the building called Rana Plaza made news all over the world because it was discovered that over 25 major brands and retailers, just like yourselves, had their fabrics sourced from factory workers in Rana Plaza building. Brands like Walmart, Disney, El Corte Inglés, Primark, Mango, United Colors of Benetton, famous brands all around the world had their names dragged in front of the news media and their reputation scarred forever. I'd like to ask you, our executive here from Disney, how bad was this? How bad did you feel at that time?
Really bad.
Really bad. I felt bad about it too. I mean, some of the rest of you who weren't sourcing from that building, I know that Adidas, Mr. Smith over here, how would you feel if you knew that your company was partly responsible for the loss of life that happened that day?
I would be devastated, but I know because of our corporate responsibility, we have no part in that.
No, you're very lucky that Adidas wasn't sourcing from there. But we all know that we want to keep our brand's reputation intact, and more importantly, we really want to be part of saving the lives of our workers and ensuring their safety. But let me tell you that when we look at our supply chains, building safety is not the only issue. In addition to building safety, another big one is child labor. Maybe you didn't know this, but the International Labor Organization stated that last year in 2015, there are more than 215 million child laborers in the supply chain. My own company, AI, did over 10,000 audits just ourselves last year. And we found that in 5% of the factories that we went to, they failed because they were having children work there. That means that over 500 factories, just found by our company alone, are employing children. Children that could be out getting an education, enjoying their youth, but instead they're slaving away in a hot, dirty factory. And I think about that and I think, what if this was my child? What if this was your child? How would you feel?
He should not be here.
Should not have to work like that, I agree. So we know that building safety is an issue. I don't want my children to have to work in a factory all day long instead of going to school. What about the impact to our environment? Around the world, hundreds and hundreds of thousands of factories are polluting our Mother Earth. And one of the worst things they do is they put literally tons and tons of wastewater into our environment. I'm sure you guys all know that 80% of the world's production of every good happens right here in China. And in China, China has a Ministry of Environmental Protection, and they stated in 2014 that over 60% of the surface water in China is so polluted, it's not fit for human contact. Now think about that. I'm not saying you shouldn't drink the water. I'm saying this water should not touch your skin. In fact, over 25% of the surface water in China is not even fit for industrial use. It's so toxic, it will damage the machines. This is what we're doing to our Earth. Buildings collapsing, people dying, being injured, children working in our factories, and contaminating Mother Earth and wasting our precious resources. All of these things can be prevented. At my company AI, we believe we have a moral responsibility to help you prevent them. And I get up in the morning and I go to work every day because I know that what I do is helping make the world a better place for my future children, for my family. And I know that all of you love your families. So I think that we can all agree that this is a very important topic. Is there anyone here that doesn't think that they should help protect the environment, help ensure worker safety, and at the same time, of course, protect your brand? Why?
That we have responsibility to maintain maximum profit for our shareholders.
I agree. It's an excellent point. But what if I told you that not only can I help you protect your brand, not only can I help you protect your workers' rights, what if I told you that working together, we can reduce your cost and also increase your revenue? Would that be more interesting to you?
Yes, thank you.
Absolutely. Well, let me tell you how I can help. Now, to help you understand that, what I would say is there are 2 points, two major points. One, there was a 2013 article in the Harvard Business Review which stated that socially responsible companies over the last 15 years outperformed financially the S&P 500. That means companies that are operating in an ethical manner had better revenues, better cost control, better margin than the S&P 500 companies. Why? Why were they able to do this? Well, the easy answer is basically, if you treat your people well, they don't leave. So, an ethically responsible company is going to make sure that their workers are healthy, they take after their welfare, their safety, and their happiness. And if you're being taken care of, you're not going to leave that company so easily. So their turnaround in staff is much reduced. If your staff aren't leaving, you reduce your costs in terms of recruitment, in terms of training, and you reduce errors in your production. It makes you be more productive and more efficient. So this is how we can reduce costs. And it's the same thing for you as your suppliers when you help them to operate in an ethical manner. They also reduce costs, which means their price to you goes down, helping you increase your margin as well. It should make your shareholders quite happy. But the second point, which I talked about, is helping increase your revenue. So this is more about, in today's market, consumers buy things not really just about what the product is, but who they think your company is. So there was a survey done also in 2014 for 55,000 consumers over 15 different countries, and they actually said that only 40% made their buying decision based on the product. 60% made their buying decision based on that brand's reputation. Your brand, Adidas. Your brand, Disney. Besides that, that's the current age population. But what about millennials? Do we all know that this word millennials refers to people that were born between 1980 and 1995? So these young people are increasing this trend even more. Actually, 86% of these millennials stated they actively search out a company's ethics and use that as part of their buying decision. 86%. And in addition to that, they're willing to pay 18% higher price for a product from a company they believe is operating ethically. So you can increase your price, help increase your margin and your revenue. At the same time, you're reducing costs. All right, so we've all agreed that it's important work, we're saving lives. Now we also know we can save costs. So the question that's all in your minds, of course, how much does it cost? But before I answer that for you, I'd like you to just think about what's this worth to you. The ability to ensure the safety of your employees, the workers in your supply chain, save lives. To make sure you protect your brand. There's never an NGO coming out and giving millions and millions of dollars of countless damages to you that you lost sales. Stopping lawsuits coming after you, millions of dollars. Operating ethically is not a cost to you. This is an investment. How much is that investment worth? Now I know at Disney you have a $50 million budget that you spend on quality. How much do you think you could spend to ensure safety and help the lives of our future children?
We need to increase.
You need to increase even more. Well, I have good news for you because at AI we only charge $629 US per man day, and we can audit any factory anywhere in the world. In fact, you can work with other companies besides AI, but we're the ones that bring you the best value. And the reason I can say that is the top 3 companies that offer this, I've worked for them before. And I was a manufacturer and I used them. They're slow, we're fast. They take 2 months to go to your factory, we'll be there in 48 hours, guaranteed. We offer you full visibility. We give you analytics that you can see 24 hours a day on your phone if you want. So there's a lot of things that are important here, but I know you're not going to start without trying our services, so when can I sign you up for a trial? Next week, sounds good? Today. Excellent. You're welcome. Okay, back to the Toastmaster of the day. Okay, excellent. 1 minute silence.